Okay, thank you. Denise, we have a quorum, so I believe we are ready to go.
Hey, thanks to everyone. I now call the November 4th, 2020 meeting of the Scottsdale Veterans Advisory Commission to order. Will our staff liaison, Kelly, please call the roll?
Yes, I will. Vice Chair Polk.
Present.
Commissioner Monroe.
Present.
Commissioner Regal.
Present.
Commissioner Stemple.
Present.
And Commissioner Zymek.
Present.
That is everyone. So everyone knows Chair Palmer had an absence tonight, a conflict that he could not resolve. So that is the members of the commission. There are no public comments on file, so we can proceed.
Okay. Approval of the minutes. Next on the agenda is a request to approve the minutes from the October 7th meeting. Are there any comments or corrections to the minutes? Okay, if not, I will entertain a motion from the commission.
So moved.
Seconded.
I will call a roll call vote. Vice Chair Polk.
Approve.
Commissioner Monroe.
Approved.
Commissioner Regal.
Approve.
Commissioner Stemple.
Approved.
And Commissioner Zymek.
Approved.
And that carries.
Thank you. Moving right along. Discussion and possible direction, the Veterans Advisory Commission 2020 Annual Report. Next on the agenda is item 3, as I just outlined, and possible direction regarding the Commission's 2020 Annual Report, which is required to be approved by the Commission at the first meeting of each calendar year. I will hand the presentation over to Mr. Corset, who will discuss the draft report, and then the Commission can offer comments so that we can vote on the final report at our December meeting. Mr. Corset?
Thank you, Vice Chair Polk and members of the commission. I am sharing on the screen now, and you also received via email prior to the meeting the draft annual report, which actually comprises a couple of pieces. The page that is that's on the screen now is the standard template that the city boards and commissions use. And if some of you have served on other city boards and may know this, or if you have perused any of the other commission's reports, it really depends how much detail is included. It really depends on the kind of work that the commission does and the kind of things that they want to include in their report. I did work with Chair Palmer to put together this draft. So the first page includes just a tote board of the number of meetings held, the number of public comments that were made at those meetings. This bulleted list reflects major topics of discussion and any actions taken. There's an attendance list that is included for, that's a standard part of the template for each of the boards and commissions. The report then notes any subcommittees that we have, which we don't, when you all completed your ethics training, when officers were selected, bylaws adopted, anticipated key issues that remain for the commission, and future significant work products. And additionally, there's an opportunity to list upcoming opportunities, challenges, or outcomes. And in that, you'll see a handful of bullets that we put in here. So that is the sort of pro forma section of the commission's annual report. The next part that we want to include is an annotated version of the commission's work plan. And this document includes in blue updates or comments on items in the work plan. And this draft was developed by Chair Palmer and myself, reflecting the things that have been done that relate to the work plan items or other status reports. And so it goes section by section through the work plan, and you'll see the notes here. So a read through this, I think, provides the council and anyone else who wants to see a sort of end of calendar year status of the commission's work plan is reflected here. Also included are the demographics report that you all received fairly early in the year, and I believe Chair Palmer put most of this together. And then in addition to that is the data that we received on the point in time count that also reflects the number of homeless veterans in Scottsdale. Actually, this report reflects the total number in the valley, and then you all heard the numbers for Scottsdale as well. So those are the pieces that are proposed to comprise the commission's annual report. The pro forma piece as written here, and then the status update on the commission's work plan. So with that, I will open it up or hand it back to Chair Polk, and we can certainly answer any questions or take any comments or observation from the commission. And it looks like the first hand raise is from Vice Chair Polk. Denise, you might be on mute.
Thank you for the reminder. I have 3 questions. Is it okay if I just ask one at a time and you can answer, or do I need to step out, raise my hand again and step out?
I think we could take them all together.
Okay, thank you. So just a general question about the ethics training. Is that just a one-off once you become a commissioner, or is that a yearly refresh that we have to attend?
Vice Chair Polk, members of the commission, I believe that is an annual requirement. So we would, or once per calendar year. But I will have to get clarification on that. I apologize. It's probably something that I should know, but I don't offhand. But I will get the answer to that question.
No apologies needed. And then additionally, as we all know, we're down a person in our commission, and understandably with everything that's going on and no in-person meetings, have you gotten any feedback, and also with the election yesterday, have you gotten any feedback on when we may open that position up to the public and accept applications?
Vice Chair Polk, members of the commission, we actually had the council in September was interviewing candidates and had actually selected a candidate to serve on the commission. However, they nominated the candidate, and then the next step was to ratify that at the next council meeting. In between the time this gentleman was nominated and when he was due to be selected, he actually moved out of Scottsdale and therefore became no longer eligible. So we go back into the queue, and I will get you all an update on what the schedule for that looks like. But I believe that is I believe that might be set up to occur in the over the next 2 months, but I'll get you a more precise sense of timing on that.
Okay, thank you. And then my final question is, I certainly appreciate the data that Chairman Palmer pulled together and is included in this report. But my question is, there was opportunity for Scottsdale vets to click on the link, via the city's website and provide information on service and pictures and background. And I guess I'm wondering, do you have any sense of what the response was? And then based on that response, can we pull the data from that to help us have a better idea of the number of vets that are currently in Scottsdale?
Vice Chair Polk, members of the commission, we did ask for veterans in the community to submit some information, but that was intended really to celebrate veterans in the community. And we received about 50 submissions, and we have a very nice little video tribute that we'll be launching as part of our Veterans Day commemoration next week. However, it was not intended to be sort of a data collecting exercise. And so I would not use it for that purpose. And frankly, a lot of the submissions that we received were just inconsistent in terms of the kind of information provided. I would say that if it were a desire of the commission in the next year to look at potentially surveying the community, that is something that certainly could be discussed and may be possible. But I would not recommend using our more casual collection of veteran information for that purpose.
Okay, thank you for that information. I'll look forward to seeing the video. Was hoping the number would be a little bit higher, but happy to have what we have.
I think it'll be a good start, and yes, we hope the next year we'll have even more. I do have a hand raised from Commissioner Zymek.
Yeah, I just like to say kudos to Kelly, to you and your staff, and Commissioner Palmer for not only putting the annual report together. You did a phenomenal job, but then what staff has done on the website is also a 10 in my book. So I just want to add to it, congratulations. As I reviewed it, there's really nothing that I would add at this point in time. Certainly as we go forward, I'm sure we'll expand on both next year and as we do things, and on the website as well. But great job.
Thank you, Commissioner Zymek, and thank you for everyone's input on the website. We look forward to keeping it as a resource for the community, and we also look forward to focusing some attention on it as a resource as we ramp up our Veterans Day communication here over the next week or so. I see a hand up from Commissioner Stemple and then from Vice Chair Polk.
Yes, excuse me. I just had a question. I was looking at the Veterans Day festivities, and where I don't see anything on a time or anything. This is item 5 on the minutes.
Thank you, Commissioner Stemple. We are wrapping up the details of the pieces of our virtual Veterans Day commemoration. We are very close to having those all wrapped up. When I have all that, I will send it all to you. And what we have let the community know is the commemoration will begin at 11 a.m. on November 11th. But we're still wrapping up some details on the pieces of that, and I'm hoping that will be ready by the end of this week, so that everybody will have the details in hand. But we have started putting out information in our newsletter and via our social media channels, encouraging folks to tune into our YouTube channel and online on on November 11th at 11 a.m. But I'll get you the details as soon as I have them. Thank you.
Approximately how long is it going to take, Kelly?
It will really be kind of an a la carte thing. All of the pieces combined are about an hour and a half.
Oh, boy.
But we certainly don't expect folks to kind of sit there and watch the whole thing all together. But the main pieces that we launch with in the beginning are shorter. It'll be less than about 30 minutes. The long piece is, you'll recall, community historian Joan Fadala, her presentation, which I think is very interesting on World War II veterans in Scottsdale. That's about an hour long. So that'll be the last piece of it. The other pieces will be shorter, and you can, of course, and the community members can sort of pick and choose the pieces they want. And then once they are quote unquote launched, they'll be available, and we'll share the links to them so that people can go back and look at them on their own schedule.
All right, thanks. And then will we be able to preview that before the public?
When I have the links, yes, I'll share that all with you, and trust that you will not launch them on your own channels before Veterans Day.
Right, thanks.
That'll be sometime, I'm sorry.
Commissioner Stemple, did you have anything else?
Yeah, excuse me. I must have missed something there. You will be sending us a link. Is that correct?
I will. I will send you. I'll send you some more detailed information when I have it. We're still putting together the final pieces for the virtual Veterans Day commemoration, and I'll send you the details, and I'll send you some preview links so that you can look at the pieces of it before we launch it for the public.
Terrific. Thank you.
And
I'd like to just make one comment. I think this was a terrific report. I agree with the other commissioner who mentioned that. I was just blown away when I was looking at this. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Stemple. Commissioner Regal.
Kelly, approximately what time could I'll call it, blast that link out to my Legion members for the city's link?
The pieces will be set to premiere at beginning at 11 a.m. on Veterans Day.
I mean, so I could send it out a day or two before, hit this at 11 o'clock on the 11th?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And I don't see any other hands up. Are there any other questions or comments on the draft annual report?
This is Joel. I'd like to just ask one question. One of the things that I wanted to do when I started this, and I don't know whether I'm out of order here or not, correct me. I wanted to look at one other thing that I said I would look at financial education for veterans to help them when they either are retired or left or just got off of active duty. And I'm wondering where that would be included, and who do I take that up with?
Commissioner Stemple, did that piece get reflected in the commission's work plan? Do you recall?
I didn't see anything on this. I saw veterans policy, veterans programs, but maybe that's under the identify specific city of Scottsdale veterans programs. That was on page 1, starting.
I believe it's a
under 1 and then 1.1.
I believe it's a topic that that could probably fit there.
Okay.
And there's also under task 3 and 4, item 2 on identifying programs and organizations that provide services and support for veterans. I believe work on the financial piece that you mentioned could proceed under item 2 here as well. I think if you have some specific suggestions, that would be something to bring up with the chair and get on a future agenda to discuss in more detail.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Stemple. I do not see any other hands raised, but I do have an update. Sorry, I also have a phone that's ringing in my hand here. On the commissioners, the vacancy on the commission, I've been digging through my emails here, and I do see that the next nominations for commissioners, vacant commission spots for all the city's boards and commissions are scheduled to occur actually next Tuesday on November 10th. And so those would be nominations from the folks that have already applied. And then appointments are set to occur on December 1st.
Thank you for that update, Kelly.
I see a hand raised from Commissioner Regal, and then Commissioner Stemple, I see your hand as well. I don't know if that's a
No.
leftover hand raise or whether you have a new.
I forgot to lower it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Regal.
Based on the schedule you just went through, Callie, does that mean we'll have probably that new member at our next meeting?
I would say probably not.
Okay.
After the member, I believe it's a possibility, but usually after the member is appointed, then they need to do there's a process they need to go through to be formally sworn in, and that does include their ethics training. And so.
Well, the reason I brought that up was because since we have to do a requalification annually, I thought maybe they could join us.
I think that's an interesting suggestion. I will bring that up with I'll bring that up with the staff who oversees all the boards and commissions to see if that's something that we could potentially put together.
Thank you.
Okay. Vice Chair Polk, I believe that concludes this item on the agenda.
Thank you. Do you need to, do you need to ask for approval or anything like that, or we can just move on to the next agenda item?
Since there are no recommendations to modify the document, I think we can move on, and then we'll bring the final draft back for approval at the next meeting, and that would be an action item.
Okay, thank you for that guidance. So next is open discussion from members of the commission regarding any updates or reports you have or ideas about future agenda topics.
I see a hand up from Commissioner Stemple.
Would that include what I talked about as far as programs for financial information for veterans, financial education, and so forth?
I believe Commissioner Stemple, if you wanted to suggest that the commission take a future agenda item to discuss financial education programs for veterans, I believe that would be an appropriate thing to bring up here.
Okay. What I'd like to do is perhaps come up with a specific plan and sort of do a who, what, where, why, when, and how thing on December 2nd, and I'll try to prepare something for that.
Thank you, Commissioner Stemple. I will make sure that the chair is aware and speak to him about placing that item on your December 2nd agenda.
Okay, thank you.
And then I have a hand from Commissioner Regal and then Commissioner Zymek.
Thank you, Kelly. A quick question for you, again, like everybody else commenting on the website. I did have a question about how people can provide updates to that or get them included into that. Like when I looked at the businesses, all I got was that Southwest organization that has a whole, I think it's more of a metro area wide or even wider than that number of businesses. And I'm just wondering, maybe I missed it in there on how things can get updated to the city's website and then to the other things that we might have on there that we're linking to as well.
Commissioner Regal, members of the commission, we don't have a formal system set up yet. You recall we did talk about the need to be fairly fastidious in the organizations we provide virtual real estate to. However, if the community or any of you or the organizations that you belong to have suggestions, I think the best way is to have those suggestions make their way to me, and then I will take a look. And if there are any issues about whether or not I think they should be added, then I can bring that conversation back to the commission if appropriate.
If rather than show personal bias or anything, is it possible maybe we add that as a topic for our next meeting on how we would like it as the commission for the website to be updated in concert with what the city is looking for in terms of, I'll call it ethical and everything else that you guys are trying to do?
Certainly, we could have that discussion as a group and attempt to develop some criteria.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Zymek.
Yes, getting back to Commissioner Stempel's comment or concerns about educational programs, that is already in our draft annual report on page 5, section 2, identifying programs and organizations that provide services. And then 2.3 is specific about educational programs and agencies to help the vet. And it's all listed as a work in progress.
I'm sorry, excuse me, would you please repeat that? I've got it in front of me.
All right, page 5, paragraph 2. And then the subparagraphs are 2.1, 2.2, and 2.3. And 2.3 specifically addresses educational programs.
All right.
And I think, thank you for that, Commissioner Zymek. So the work on this is certainly proceeding in support of that element of the commission's work plan. And again, I'll speak to the chair, Commissioner Stempel, about placing that specific item that you want to put together on the December agenda.
Okay. Kelly, can I call you on that and talk to you about that a little bit?
Certainly, I'd be happy to speak to you about it anytime.
Okay, and that was page 5, you said, right?
Yes, page 5.
Okay, gotcha. Thanks a lot.
Okay, Commissioner Zymek, did you have anything else?
No, that was it.
Thank you. Okay, Vice Chair Polk, I don't see any other hands raised. So our next meeting will be 5 p.m. Wednesday, December 2nd. And I think the next item is to take a motion for adjournment.
So move.
Second.
I think we can do a collective vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you all very much. Vice Chair Polk, did you have anything else?
Yes, I just wanted to make sure, and I'm sorry. So as far as we know, the next meeting will still be virtual unless we hear different, correct?
That is correct. We don't, there are some city boards and commissions that are beginning to meet in sort of a hybrid fashion in person, with public attending virtually. I will tell you that's even more work for staff than doing it all
Oh,
in person
okay.
or all
Let's not-
virtually.
Let's not add then, right?
So yes, I don't have any indication that we'll be moving to in person before the end of the year.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all very much. I think that concludes our meeting, and we will be speaking to you all soon. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Happy Veterans Day.
Thank you.